Brian Beacham, Assistant Director of Athletics. My job title prior to becoming Assistant Director of Athletics, my title was Director of Sports Information. It really goes back to my time as an undergrad at Temple. I was a sport management major, ended up working for the basketball program. I got to see the ins and outs of an athletic department at the time, and it kind of developed into an interest for me. And by the time I was done at Temple, I really had a strong idea that working in college athletics is the direction I wanted to go. Sports information is the PR side of the department's operations, and that was my idea for a foot in the door. And from there, it was always my goal to work myself up the ladder to eventually become an athletic director. Originally, I wanted to work in broadcasting. I always found an interest in play-by-play announcers or color commentators. However, I knew quickly my first semester into college that was a very competitive field, and it probably wasn't going to work out in my favor. I have several favorite memories of the job. When I was at Syracuse, the men's lacrosse program won a national championship. I got to ride along that adventure and experience with them. Last year with the men's basketball program here at Cabrini, making a run to the NCAA championship for men's basketball was a great experience. And not all of them happened to be on the field. There's been experiences I've had as a sports information director, just working in the PR side of things off the field, working with student athletes in the media that have been great. We had a men's lacrosse player here a couple of years ago by the name of Casey Grugan, who was arguably the best player that we've ever had through this college, and we were able to get him on Sports Illustrated in the Faces in the Crowd section. So there's a lot of great things that have happened on the court and things that have happened in the office, and the personal interactions I've had with student athletes that I would say have been great moments in my career so far. My responsibility as Assistant Director of Athletics really falls under 5 things. So I do scheduling, I do NCAA compliance, I oversee all of our event management whenever we have any sort of opponents here on campus. I help out in terms of a secondary oversight supervisor for budget and traveling, and I oversee our sports information director and his sports information intern. I did have prior experience. I worked as a graduate extern at Temple and then an intern at Syracuse before I got here at Cabrini as the sports information director. So it was kind of a progression for me starting as an undergrad at Temple. Yeah, it really doesn't get any lower than starting as a men's basketball manager at Temple. Again, a position that's not very glamorous. You're working a lot of long hours. You're working hours at really weird times. We used to practice at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I was up bright and early for practice. So I like to think I was really in the trenches with a lot of positions I was in terms of commitment and working a lot of hours and expectations of having long and grueling days. So trying to balance that with again, social things and the work-life balance that we stress here at Division III, it's very difficult. So those 2 positions really teach you a lot about yourself and about what the entire the field or the industry is all about.